yes, it's woolly, but it has been a productive and still is a very productive kitchen garden, providing for me my green leafy vegetables. Good morning, and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home. Well, my vegetable kitchen garden area is very full with plants, and I did this on purpose because it has been so dry, and we want to keep the ground covered. We want to allow the ground to stay moist. And so I have been so pleased with how things are going, because now the tomatoes are starting to provide tomatoes to ripen up, and that is a good thing. But what I do need to do is to come back and kind of shear them up so that they can continue to produce tomatoes all the way up. But it is so very beautiful, and this bee balm has been really a good thing here because it's added so much color, but then it also has been good because it allows the bees to pollinate the plants. So I am very impressed with this. I think this is collard greens. It was supposed to be cabbage, but I believe it's collard greens. But we've been eating them, and they look fairly healthy, and the greens have just been good. I've just been enjoying them. I got these from my gardening friend earlier in the year, our local gardening person who provides seedlings for us, and it was a really good thing. So they're looking so healthy and good, and really loving this space. Yes, this is kind of wild, but yet it has been very productive. Earlier in the season, what I did was planted my beans, and I have been eating the beans, but now they have gone over and they are a little bit overly ripe, so I think I'm going to allow them to go to seed, and then I'm going to plant in this garden area my fall garden. But right now things are just looking so good. Now this is one of the mustard greens that I planted earlier, but I kept it here, and look how beautiful that looks. And then I planted or transplanted the eggplants that I got earlier that were being smothered, and I put them in this location, and they are loving it here. And then in between is the pepper plant. So I believe as the season progresses, they are going to continue to grow and produce. They have flowers already. Now here in this corner, I have some more of the mustard greens, which are so delicious. And this is purple perilla, which is edible. I might start to eat it just to test it out. And my pumpkins and squashes are coming through here. And I'm going to allow them to do that because I want them to grow and spread, and I want them to have space to do it. But I just love how this looks. I'm very much into the beauty of the garden. And so as much as I want production, I also want to come out here and enjoy the beauty of it, the lushness. Especially now because of all of the dryness, the lack of water and so forth that has been happening, the drought. It's just nice to have this little oasis in the garden and have it to be a beautiful space, providing solace for the eye, but also providing food for the stomach. So in this bed, the kale are doing very, very well. The kale is here, and I have been eating the kale from here, and I also have nasturtiums. And then down in here is my rosemary that's getting a little smothered, but that I've been clipping and using. And then I have beets too, and they're growing, so I'm not really disturbing them so much. So as far as the food source, that's what's happening in the center. And here in this real center, the middle here in this pot, is my blueberry bush, which did provide blueberries for the first time. Here is my mint, and I've been cutting this mint and using it too for tea in the mornings. So on this side here though, I have carrots that I had sown earlier in the spring. And these beans, string beans, were delicious, but you can see they're drying out. And I am going to harvest the beans and clean this area, this side here up, and probably sow some more carrot seeds. And then here is the kale, which is so delicious as well. Now on this side here, this is my first planting in the early spring. And I had planted some of the California poppies. And now you can see them here. It's a little wild on this side, so I'm going to clean this area out too as well. I can see some of the radish seeds too, plants that have over, bolted, and I see some seeds there too. So yeah, it is a little wild and woolly, but it is productive, and it is making me very happy. And then I love my verbena. And that I planted in the bottle, the winter bottle sowing, and I am so satisfied with how the verbena plant is just beautiful and eerie. I love it, and I hope that this verbena, I hope that it self seeds here and comes back every year in this location, because it does look so pretty with the yellow flowers as well. Another plant that's doing very well in this area, or did very well and has self-seeded itself, is the chamomile. Chamomile was all over the area. Two plants that self-seeded themselves in this garden are this beautiful nasturtium. Isn't that a pretty flower? Yeah, the nasturtium that you see here. Isn't that beautiful? So I think I'm going to try and save some of these nasturtium seeds just for their beauty as well as for the leaves. These leaves are very tasty, very nice, and great in salads. And this is the chamomile. And this self-seeded throughout the bed. This is from last year. I didn't plant this originally. Now here is my ginger mint and candy mint here in these pots, and this is really taken off. You can see that it's ready to really spread. And then I also have some sage there, in pots, and also the thyme. So the kale here is delicious. I've been eating and also coming out and just harvesting the kale, and they've been healthy. It just seems like this is just a good location. Really haven't had much problems with insects, and just been really nice. And then here's another one. I think this is collard greens, people, and it's delicious, and you can see how healthy that leaf looks. Just beautiful. I just love this right here. I love my kitchen garden. So yes, it's wild. Yes, it's woolly, but it has been a productive and still is a very productive kitchen garden, providing for me my green leafy vegetables, a beauty with the flowers, tea, through the mint here, tomatoes, and just a lot of joy. The bees love it, and so do I. Now, extending outside of the boundary here, we can also see that there are the tomato plants that I planted here. And each time we've just been coming out and picking the tomatoes. But the plant that is really taking over now are the squashes, and that we have put here in this location. And right now, because the season is winding down, and I really do want some patty pan to develop, and I want some pumpkins, and I want all of that good stuff. I am willing to allow my my different squashes and pumpkins to travel. Now, I planted over here, look at that, to travel up this area. I also planted my cucumbers in here, and they're getting a little overtaken, but they are being pollinated, and they are growing here, and so soon I will have a lot of beautiful cucumbers as well. And the corn, I'm going to need to get in there somehow and harvest the corn, because I think that they're ready soon. They're ready to be harvested. But then in here you can just see the different squash just moving and moving. And here I have, I think that is one of the porcelain pumpkins there. And just all throughout this, tucked in, they're developing the different squash. So now I planted here porcelain pumpkin, cinnamon pumpkin, butternut squash, patty pan squash, and that's what you see here. And you can see the different types of leaves too of the different pumpkins. And it's to the point where they are traveling over here. And I've created this space for them so that they can travel behind and have space to go. Now, I'm just also not wanting them to just take over everything, so I'm monitoring it, but you can see it just moving down here in the back. Oh, wow. So my caladiums are doing really well, starting to open up. show up. And what I've done is I just put them in, let them stay in the pot because they'll fall out and you wouldn't even see the pot after a while. And I love how my cannas are looking. They're new, and I believe that they will continue to grow out and fill out this space. They're not proven winners. They're actually from Costco. But the container was large and I needed big containers, so I just put them in there. Recycle. Anyway, this is from my son, this container here. He created that for me. And I love how this is filled out so quickly. Just really looks nice. These are nasturtium and it's starting to flower. Isn't that pretty? The nasturtium is flowering. The beautiful marigolds, the yellow marigolds are starting to fill out here. And then I have this coleus, which is getting a little covered, but I think it likes it there. And then this is a flower. This is the flower of the caladium. And this is this plant here is the African daisy. And I did that from seed, and we'll see what happens with that. But I do love the nasturtium. And these variegated nasturtium called Alaska, really pretty. And these coleus are looking fantastic. I think it's called Wizard. Both of them are very beautiful, making this corner absolutely pretty. It did flower, my hibiscus, but there are more flowers to come. As you can see, all of those buds. And then I love this. This is my cleome, and also my beautiful verbena. And then this is my new rose. It's finishing up, but it's pretty here. And it's looking very healthy. It loves this spot. So I love this because this is a new rose too, Pink or Bell. And then this rose here is a new rose also. And I have another one of the Pink or Bells right here. It's looking really good. So this is what's happening for this first Saturday in August for 2022. And the garden is loving it here, and I'm loving the garden. The squash, that's what is the pumpkin and squash. It's their time to just travel. And start producing beautiful fruit. My harvest baskets are full with produce from the garden. As you can see, the tomatoes are multiplying. We have some eggplants, they're small, but it's good to get them harvested in. And then the pickles are just coming regularly, and I don't want them to ripen too quickly. As you can see here, this one is starting to turn yellow, but I want to get them while they're still green. And I'm going to have to figure out exactly how I'm going to preserve them, because these look like really good pickling cucumbers, which they are, the national pickling cucumbers. And since they're not getting much bigger than that before they're turning yellow, I'm thinking of maybe figuring out how I can preserve them by pickling them. We'll have to see. But for sure, I am going to be using up these tomatoes, especially the nice bright red ones here, in sauces, and create some tomato sauce and tomato juice while they're coming in, because there's still a lot of tomatoes on the vine out there, and it is really a good thing. So this is my Saturday harvest for August 2022. I decided to pick the Asian pear from the pear tree because they're soft and I believe they're edible now, but they're very small still, and these were the only two that were left on the tree. But I'm happy to have it. I'm going to slice it and taste it and just get a taste of my Asian apple pear. For more videos, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And thank you so much for watching. See you next time right here in Catherine's Garden. Bye.